Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Isha and today we have come here with a very important video for class 10 board students. That is proof that root 2 is irrational. Okay, so since you must not be knowing how to solve it, that's why you have searched it on YouTube. So I will start by telling you the basics of what is rational numbers and then we will start the actual proof. If you know what are rational numbers, you might skip this part of the video. But I personally advise you to listen to everything because sometimes we miss this small point and then we make errors. This question is very easy, which says prove that root 2 is irrational. Because it surely comes for the exam, and if you write it correct, you are going to get full marks in it. And even if you are weak in maths, this is especially very important for you. You can pass by scoring these small easy topics. Okay, so let's get started. Friends, please subscribe my channel and please like the video. I am stuck on this many subscribers and they are not increasing, so I request you to subscribe my channel. Okay, so before we talk about rational numbers, let's start with a number line. So here you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This side, on the left hand side, you have minus numbers or the negative numbers. So first you must be knowing what are natural numbers. From 1 to infinity, it is natural numbers. And if you include 0, then it is 0 to infinity is whole number. So these are natural numbers and these are also whole numbers. Now, suppose I include the negative numbers, then what do they become? Integers. So integers is from minus infinity to positive infinity. Okay, so everything you include is integers. Now, have you seen these kind of numbers? You must be seeing these numbers right from 5th standard. So have you seen these numbers? These are neither integers, they are neither natural numbers, and they are neither whole numbers. So what are they? These are your rational numbers. Now, what is exactly the definition of rational numbers? Rational numbers is a type of numbers which are in the form of P upon Q, where P and Q both are integers, but Q is not equal to 0. Okay, so when is upon is there, no, if there is 0 here, it becomes infinity, invalid. So even you must have learned that some 10 functions or something like 10 90 degree is 1 upon 0, so that 0 is infinity. So usually you will not hear like that. So like that only I am saying that 0 should not come here down, denominator, d for denominator, d for down. So down it should not come, 0 should not come. On top P can be 0 but Q should not be 0, and both of these should be integers. Integers meaning there can be 2 plus numbers, 1 minus number. If there are 2 minus number, like say minus 7 to minus 7, here this will cut and this will also cut. So on top if there is minus and down also minus, it cuts. So here it is 1 upon 1. Okay, but here this is actually 1 is an integer. Okay, 1 upon 1 is rational number. Okay, so now these are rational numbers. Now let us start proving with our main proof. So from here we are going to begin our main video. This topic will come for the board. Prove that root 2 is irrational. So this question you are going to get just this much you are going to get, and if you find the result you are going to score full marks in this. So let's get started. Okay, now when they tell you to prove it is irrational, first let us take the opposite meaning. So now when you are trying to actually prove something, you just have to assume that it is there. Okay, like say if you are going for a swimming class, you assume that if I listen to the instructor, I will learn swimming. So like this in maths also, if your teacher tells you to assume something while solving a sum, you need to first assume it and then you have to solve it. So let us assume these sentences and all. See what your teacher has given you, because they know what is right for the board, and also refer to the previous year questions, and whatever you are learning from me is for your understanding, but in the boards you have to do what your teacher has told you to do. Let us assume to the contrary. So to the contrary, so in your mind this is not right, but we are writing it just like a formality, that root 2 is rational. So what we are assuming is that root 2 is rational. Now what I had told you, the definition of rational numbers, you don't have to write anything from here, you have to start from here. Let us assume that to the contrary, that root 2 is rational. Now root 2 is equal to p upon q. I am not taking here, I am taking here a and p. So in the bracket you write where a and b are both integers and b is not equal to 0. So whenever you talk about irrational numbers, they always have to be upon 5 upon something. You see, these are not numbers which can get cut. Like here you see, you cut everything and you get an integer. 1 is an integer, so like that it is. So maybe 1 by 4 should have been there. So like minus 7 divided by minus 6. So this and this is cut, and 7 by 6. So this is rational numbers. This is your p upon q form. Okay. So now, just as I give you an example here, say suppose I am giving you an example 1/4. Okay. Then here I will give you an example 2 by 2. So this cuts and this becomes an integer. So usually we have to see that a and b are co-prime and should not have a common factor. This you don't have to write, this is for your understanding. Okay. So now what we do is, our second step is squaring both the sides. 2 is equal to a square upon b square. Then root 2 is square. If you square both the sides, root 2 and square cancels. Okay. So when you write root 2, like if you take science exchange physics, so you always write like this: 2 raised the power half. So now I am putting square. 2 into half into 2. So whenever you see any root and you see a square, just try to cut them. They are dushman. So 2 is equal to like this. Now here it is 2 by 1, like so. Take this here, take this here. 2b square is equal to a square. Put this as equation 1. Okay. Now from here you can see that 2 divides a square. So 2 divides a. So now how you got it, I will show you. This is this equation we got. Put anything in place of p. You put 1 square, what you get? 2. You put 2 square, what you get? 2 2s are 4. So 2 4s are 8. Aren't these numbers divisible by 2? Okay. So like that only, all these numbers are divisible by 2. So whatever value you are getting of a square, they are actually divisible by 2. So a square is divisible by 2 and 2 is also divisible by a. Don't write this, write this. 2 divides a square, or a square is divisible by 2. And here we are going to begin with our next step. Again we are going to do some assumption of let a equal to 2c. Again squaring both sides. A square is equal to 4c square. Okay. Now here in the back side what you had got, b square is equal to a square. So just put here 2b square is equal to 4c square. Okay. B square is equal to 2c square. So here b square is divisible by 2. This is the same thing. Okay. Now b square is divisible by 2. This you have got here. And here you have got a square is divisible by 2. So you are saying that a square and b square both are divisible by 2. But wait a minute. But this contradicts our assumption that a and b are coprime, because they have a common factor. that is 2. So here we had seen that while solving the question, we had already assumed a and b are co-prime, both are integers and they do not have a common factor. So if they have a common factor, they will get cut. So how can this our assumption be true? Hence it is proved that root 2 is irrational. Please try to solve the previous year questions and get it onto your tips, because this is very easy. Plus it is a bit difficult to manage time for the 10th standard board exam. So try to get it on your hands. Best of luck for your exam. Please do type in the comment box if you want any more chapters or any more topics in science, maths, history, geography. Thank you.